Please, sir. Please come. Yes.
Good evening to our esteemed IAS, IPS, IFS officers present here, respected Director, Dean, and dear students. I warmly welcome you all to the panel discussion on Civil Services, a call to lead demystifying UPSC for India's brightest mind, here at IIT Madras. We are truly honored to host this session aimed at inspiring the next generation of leaders in public service. To commence the inauguration of this event, we will begin with the invocation of Tamil Taivalth, followed by Vande Matram. I request everyone to raise.
நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனமென திகழ்பரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கணமும் மதில் சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரிதனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம் வியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே 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 வந்தே மாதரம் வந்தே மாதரம் சுஜலாம் சுஃபலாம் மலயஜ ஷீதலாம் சஸ்யஷ்யாமலாம் மாதரம் வந்தே மாதரம் शुभ्रज्योत्स्नां पुलकितयामिनीं फुल्लकुसुमितद्रुमदलशोभिनीं सुहासिनीं सुमधुरभाषिनीं सुखदां वरदां मातरं वन्दे मातरम् वन्दे मातरम्
I now invite Dr. P. Kandaswamy to provide a brief outline about the panel discussion.
Respected Director, Professor Kamakoti, Dean, Professor Sarathi, distinguished members of the faculty, illustrious members of the panel, Shri Sanjay Kundu, Srimati Bhavana Gar, Shri Anuj Swaroop, Shri Javaha, Shri Katar Ravi Teja, and my dear students. Many of you may not know me, so I thought it would be proper to give a brief introduction about me, then about the panel members. Basically, I am an Indian Police Service officer of 1989 batch. I retired as the DGP, Director of Vigilance and Anti-Corruption of Tamil Nadu. Like most IPS officers, had the opportunity to serve as SPs in 4-5 districts, starting from Kanyakumari, Tanjavur, Coimbatore, Dharmapuri, the Nilgiris. Again, had the opportunity to serve as the Joint Director CBI Mumbai, and importantly led the Indian contingent to the United Nations mission in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Regarding my academic qualifications, I hold a bachelor's degree, BTech Mechanical. I was sitting here 30 years ago. I was at Godavari Hostel. I was the Hostel Affairs Secretary also. So it brings back nostalgia. Normally in my area, when I meet people, they only complain about water is not there, power cut is there, fan is not working. But now I'm in a different role here. This is an opportunity for me to see that I explain to you the better side of life in terms of building the nation. With regard to academic qualifications at BTech, then I did my master's in public policy from University of California at Berkeley, a 2-year program. Then followed up with PhD. My guru is your Professor Kamagoti. He was my guide. Okay, I should not take much about myself. Let me come back to the panelist. My dear batchmate, Sri Sanjay Kundu. He is a retired officer of the Indian Police Service with distinguished career spanning leadership role in United Nations, both state and central government. He holds a postgraduate program, public policy from University of Minnesota as a Fulbright Humphrey Fellow. He served as the DGP, Director General of Police, Himachal Pradesh, during 2020-2024. During that time, Himachal Pradesh was conferred the prestigious President of India Scholar. It's considered the gold standard for getting the recognition for uniformed force. In his role as police commissioner with the United Nations system, he contributed significantly to nation capacity building, conflict mitigation, protection of civilians, human rights, and humanitarian assistance. He is just not a police officer. He had done much more at the national level in public policy, policy formulation, solving various interstate disputes. To start with, at the state, he was the Principal Secretary to the Honorable Chief Minister. He had a wide variety of portfolio, including political, administrative, legislative, vigilance, and financial matters. At the national level, he served as the Joint Secretary, Policy, Planning and River Development in the Ministry of Water Resources, where he worked on strategy, river basin management, climate change, conflict resolution, river rejuvenation. His notable contributions include resolving Kaveri river water dispute. If you are a Tamilian, you know how dear it is, resolving a big water dispute between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu on Kaveri. And importantly, Namami Gange project, the India's flagship project for Ganga rejuvenation project. He had various leadership roles. He was the chairman of Brahmaputra Board, the largest river basin in the country. He was the chairman and managing director of the National Projects Construction Corporation, a mini PSU, and chief of the National Interlinking of Rivers Authority, a pet subject for various government, how they want to link the rivers. And he was chief of that, has given various suggestions. Because of certain political reasons, financial problem, it has not been implemented. And he is the chief of the National Climate Change Authority. Now, I have the honor to introduce Bhavna Garg. Bhavna Garg, a name synonymous with academic brilliance and exemplary acumen. Bhavna, the UPSC topper of 1999 batch. You'll be tired of clapping because so many accolades she has. Completed a BTech degree in chemical engineering from IIT Kanpur. She got UPSC 1, left-hand side getting BTech degree, right-hand side getting UPSC 1. Amazing. Give a big hand for that. After IAS, she joined the academy. Academy also, he won all the, all-round performance award. She got Ratan Swarup Memorial Award. And she was also got the Director's Trophy. Bhavna has had several key positions throughout her career, contributing significantly to policy formulation, skill development, urban planning, where she has been known for proactive approach and innovative solutions. Presently, she is the Deputy Director General of UIDAI, basically Aadhaar, okay, in the rank as Additional Secretary to the Government of India. Her remarkable achievements in public service continue to inspire countless service aspirants. You can just check online how many people are having her as a follower, following her. And we are privileged to have Bhavna Garg with us today. Please join me in welcoming her to the panel. Now, to my dear friend, I'm pleased to introduce Mr. Anuj Swaroop. He is an accomplished Indian Foreign Service officer of 2016 batch, currently heading the Regional Passport Office in Ghaziabad, serving 13 districts of the Uttar Pradesh. A dynamic diplomat, he previously served as Second Secretary at the India's embassies in Muscat and Abu Dhabi, managing political, education, and cultural affairs. Upon returning to India in 2022, must we all remember about G20 summit, right? He played a key pivotal role in G20's Secretariat as Under Secretary, steering critical working groups on anti-corruption, education, youth engagement, while contributing to landmark events like G20 Leaders Summit. You may all know that many of those things, we had the basic policy group meeting in IIT Madras. He had come before to IIT Madras and he has interacted with the director and the people here. An electronics engineer from JSS Noida and MBA from FMS Delhi, he brings private sector expertise from NTPC. His alma mater honored him as Distinguished Alumnus in 2020. Passionate about travel, photography, and reading, Mr. Anuj blends analytical rigor with creative thinking. We welcome him. I am proud to introduce my Tamil Nadu cadre officer, Jawahar. He is a stellar officer of the 2016 IPS batch. He was again like Sanjay Kundu and Bhavna, the best all-rounder probationer, testament to his best exceptional skills. An electronics engineer from NIT Tiruchi, Jawahar has skillfully blended technical expertise with administrative acumen in his distinguished career. He has served in pivotal leadership roles, including SP of Erode and Nagapattinam district, and as Deputy Commissioner of Police, Anna Nagar, Chennai. During these tenures, he spearheaded cutting-edge technological innovations in policing, significantly enhancing public service delivery across Tamil Nadu. His approach has set a new benchmark in efficient and citizen-friendly law enforcement. Now, last but not the least, I am pleased to introduce Katta Ravi Teja. He is just a couple of years senior to you, so you can feel free to ask him. I got some personal grudge against him, I'll tell you later. I am pleased to introduce Katta Ravi Raja, an officer of Indian Administrative Service, Tamil Nadu cadre, 2020, with already a rank of 77, a graduate in IIT Delhi, BTech Mechanical 2017. Here where the problem comes. I took him for campus darshan. Then he said, sir, I came here for counseling. I said, why did you not take mechanical engineering from IIT Madras? He went to IIT Delhi. That's the reason. He wanted to appear for civil services. He thought there's a better place. He went there. Okay, very true. But I am from mechanical. I am from IIT Madras, Chennai. So I didn't want to make him anyway less that be by the number one at that point of time. I am sure now also we continue the same position. Ravi Teja has several important positions. Presently, he is Regional Deputy Commissioner, Greater Chennai Corporation. In case any problem with regard to corporation, he is the right man to approach. Okay. And before that, he was Sub-Collector Viluppuram. His diverse experience across administrative and government sector, along with strong academic background, makes him a valuable addition to the panel discussion today. Please join me in welcoming Katta Ravi Raja. They say in Hindi, Ghar ki murgi dal barabar. So I don't want to be here and talk my gyan. There are beautiful luminaries outside of IIT Madras. I'll be asking them to talk. About the program today, basically, I'll be giving each of them 5 to 10 minutes time. They'll talk about civil services, the challenges they had, what are the opportunities. And we have the veteran officers like Bhavna and Sanjay Kundu. They'll talk about more from the career point of view. And the other younger officers who are slightly senior to you, basically Anuj, Ravi and Jawahar, they'll talk about the examination. That's much more important. So I don't stand in between you and these people. So I thank you all. After this session of their talk, we will have question and answer session. Questions pertaining to civil services will be taken by Sanjay Kundu and Bhavana. For the examination and younger career challenges, I'm sure the 3 younger officers will do it. Okay, we are also young, but slightly younger than us. Okay, thank you.
Oh, what a crowd. I hope all the BTech classes are like this. Very nice, very happy. When I started interacting with Professor Kandaswamy, we affectionately call him Candy. Right? One idea that struck me was that when we are looking at Viksit Bharat 2047, India as a superpower, IIT Madras should contribute in every possible manner for the growth of our country. And the best service that one can do to the country is through civil services. At very close quarters, I've been observing Candy, the type of thesis he has written, there are a lot of social impact. It also reflects how much he has interacted with the society and how much you can do as a civil servant. And of course, the most important aspect of getting into civil services is this great examination. It's not quite new to you. Many of you have cleared JEE Advanced and the GATE exam. I'm sure you are used to taking that competition. It is just that you need that small nudge. And if that nudge is provided, all of you can do well. And that we are fixing certain last 2 years has been quite successful personally for many of the points that I had taken. One was Patent a Day. This financial year we closed with 410 patents. It's 1.2 patents a day. Then we started off another project where we said Startup Shatam, 100 Startup Shatam. Friends, I am also very happy to tell you, I thought it will take 3-4 years to reach that. But this year we have closed with 103 incubator startups. So I thought, since this luck is coming, I said, why not in another 2 to 3 years, in the top 100 IAS, at least 25 should be from IIT Madras. And this is the idea I started discussing with Candy, and the moment I told him, he actually jumped high, almost touched the false ceiling. And that we should do it. And then thank you, Sarthi. And to all the illustrious IAS officers who have been here, thank you very much for being here. This first meeting is a start of a long journey, and it should be a habit that like we see IIMs, we see some admits abroad, we see all these plum jobs. Entrepreneurship and civil services must also become an habit. I want 20% of my graduating class to be CXOs, CTOs. I want 20% of my graduating class to be civil servants. At that age of, so if you at 19, 20, 21, if you become a civil servant, when at some say 20 years down the line, when there is an announcement for cabinet secretary, there should be some 40 applicants, and all must be IIT Madras graduates. I think this is the vision that I want to promote. And I'm sure all the IITs will also promote the same. IIT Delhi, of course, is leading. IIT Kanpur and Delhi are having a lot more civil servants than what we have. But this is not a competition, but this is a way by which our students, our alumni can serve the nation, right? With this very noble intention, we have started this. I hope to see the same crowd every day, every time we meet, and it's not a joke. And I'm also going to take certain proactive actions in this. One thing is we are going to find out what does it mean to clear that exam. There will be certain subjects. Now, thanks to Professor Bhaskar, my predecessor, the same hall, we made a historic decision that only 60% will be your karma degree that you want. The remaining 40% are open electives. And I need not tell why a student takes an elective, right? And how many BTech students are here? Wow. Can you tell me some reasons for why you take an elective? Why you choose an elective? So 40% are open. Any reasons? That's what we say, but the actual reasons. No 8 o'clock class. This fellow is peace. Professor is peace. My girlfriend is taking. So we have n reasons for taking. One more reason should be, it is aligned with the UPSC syllabus. Okay, that's what we want to do. So we want to introduce electives. I've given this responsibility to Dean Planning. He has to plan this also. That are aligned with the UPSC syllabus, aligned with certain UPSC training, right? So that your preparation for this exam must go. And we have to, by Bhavana, we should be Bhavanaji, because on that day when we give the degree in this hand, you should get an UPSC offer on the other hand. That should be your goal, right? You have to go young when you have that energy and push it more and more. Right? Are you all ready? Arey, kya yaar? You are BTech students. Arey, chill out. Good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I now invite Sri Sanjay Kundu to provide his valuable opening remarks and share his insights.
I don't know if how many of you have seen the Uri movie. The battle cry is, how's the Josh? How's the Josh? Okay. So, respected Professor Kamakoti, the Director of IIT Madras, respected Dean Planning, Professor Sarthi, my friend and Professor P. Kandaswamy, he's my batchmate also and friend, fellow panelists, dear students, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening to all of you. First of all, I must thank IIT Madras for inviting me. I am really honored and humbled and privileged. I would not speak what has been spoken because everyone has got very limited time. But drawing parallels with the career of P. Kandaswamy and me, he served in extreme south, I served in extreme north. I was in Himachal Pradesh, he was in Tamil Nadu. But we had almost similar careers. He was district superintendent of police in 5 districts in Tamil Nadu. I was district SP in 5 districts in my state. Then he was commissioner of police Madurai, DIG in 2 ranges. He was picked up by CBI, very elite organization. He was DIG in Chennai. Then he was transferred as IG to Mumbai, where he solved a lot of cases. Now, as far as academics goes, he already mentioned it. He's a BTech student from here. He did his master's in prestigious UC Berkeley and also completed a PhD here. And I'm very happy because he's a professor here and he will try to show you what it is in civil service. Now, what is that there is in civil service which is not there outside? First is unparalleled exposure. The exposure is unparalleled. It is extraordinary range from rural settings to the urban settings. And for us, it is law enforcement, public order management, disaster management, drugs, cybercrime, organized crime, and whatnot. The work is just growing. I like to share my Kaveri experience because it's about diversity. This dispute has been going on for 150 years. So when I joined the ministry, I did not know anything about it. But I was involved because I was dealing with this. And 2 years down the line, we had a solution. And this Kaveri dispute was fought at many levels. Street level, political level, legislative level, courts, in the mindsets. I remember when this thing was going on, a lot of chief ministers actually used to come and meet Mr. Gadkari. I said, no, sir, whatever we'll do it for the nation building. I'm very happy that the resolution that we gave has lasted for 7 years without any trouble. Earlier, every year there used to be violence. People were killed and properties were damaged. And just to give a twist, you know how Indian government works? It works in cabinet system. So proposals are sent to the cabinet, then they get approved and then they become government resolutions. But in Kaveri case, when we sent up the cabinet note, the Honorable Prime Minister was touring abroad. He had gone to Malaysia, Indonesia and Singapore. In the Indian Constitution, there is allocation of business. That is how the business or work is divided between the ministries. And then there is a transaction of business, how business is to be transacted. And there is a clause 12. Clause 12 is when the Prime Minister can dispense with the cabinet. Say there is a war, there is war-like situation, or say there is tariff war. Very, very rare situations. I am very happy that Kaveri was resolved under clause 12. That is extreme emergency situation. Because we knew that if the matter goes to the cabinet, the ministers may not agree. But it's a reality today. I am very happy that I could be a part of it. Second is that you interact with all kinds in the society, both horizontal and vertical, across geographies and status. And there's a saying in English, rub shoulders with the kings. So you could be rubbing shoulders with the president or the governor or the chief minister. And at the same time, you could be meeting with the poorest and trying to help. So the range is extreme. So because I've got a colleague who's a regional passport officer, so I'll just narrate the incident. When I took over as DGP of Himachal Pradesh, for passport issuance, the key is police verification report. It's called PVR. That time it used to take 70 days in Himachal Pradesh. So I asked my additional DG Law and Order, can we do it in 24 hours? He says, sir, how it is possible? Himachal is a hilly terrain. I said, let us try because technology is advanced. And we did it in 24 hours. And in Shimla passport office, you get your passport in 2 to 3 days. That is basically less government and more governance. And I'm very happy to share because I've got an IFS colleague. Last 4 years, I've been getting award from their foreign minister. And he was also surprised. Sanjay, how are you doing it in 24 hours? But you can actually deliver to the people. Then there is immediate recognition and respect. You are like gold standard in India. You don't have to introduce yourself. Once you say, people understand it. Then you are the face of the government. In India, district is the unit of administration. If you are a district collector or a SP, you represent the government. You are referred to as the government. So I'll share another example. When I joined Himachal Pradesh, like Kanda Swami, we had come to our state for doing practical training. I found a lot of road accidents happening. The only news that was coming out of Himachal Pradesh was buses falling down and people dying. That used to happen about 35 years back. So when I became Principal Secretary to CM and then DG, I thought, let us do something about it. People said, how is it possible, sir? Hill roads are supposed to be unsafe. I said, no, let us do. So we did a program with the World Bank. It is called Road Accident Data Management System. It's a very, very, very good program. It is now the best practice all over the world. So I'll tell you the result. United Nations resolved that too many people are dying due to road accidents in the world. As part of Sustainable Development Goals, or SDG, they said that in the decade from 2020 to 2030, the deaths due to accident must come down by 50%. So it is called Decade of Action, Decade for Action. And 2019, 150,000 people died due to road accidents in India. 150,000. So our number did not reduce. In 2024, the number increased to 180,000. So India, instead of reducing, increased by 20%. And what was Himachal Pradesh? We reduced it by 30%. And I'm very happy. Today you don't find any news of buses falling down in Himachal Pradesh. How we did it, that's a different program, but I don't think you hear it in media, you read it in newspapers. It's a history now. So this is the kind of service that you can do. Then you have a definite role in nation building. You are part of the growth story of India, you are part of the social story of India. And I feel, like the director said, the time of Indian civilization has come. And as in Latin they say, carpe diem, seize the day. I think it is the time to seize the moment. And if you become part of the civil service, you can become part of this great Indian civilization. Next is intellectual and professional growth. It doesn't mean once you join civil service, you stop studying. Mr. Kanda Swami's case is a point. Officers today take sabbaticals, they upgrade their administrative skills, academic skills, leadership and decision-making skills. They do it regularly because they realize that the world is changing. And I've seen officers who keep their head down, perform well, governments start trusting them and assigning them serious responsibilities, senior and serious, prestigious responsibilities. Next is, there's diversity. There's huge diversity. No 2 days are the same. What is today is not tomorrow. That is not in any other job. And Jawahar and Kanda Swami will agree with me. We have our James Bond moments. If you have seen Mission Impossible, Ethan Hunt is the hero. We have our moments. Our job is like that in IPS. So we are either doing the task of James Bond or Ethan Hunt. Every day is action. I have not seen any officer dying because of boredom. Is that the case? It is so active. So here I like to share my experience of Namami Gange. When I joined the ministry, my secretary told Madam Uma Bharti used to be the minister. She is in the office. Let us go and call on her. I went and she looked at me. Sanjay, you are from IPS. Do you have any experience in water resources? I said, zero, madam. I have zero experience. I have been a cop throughout. Though I have worked in the United Nations, but zero experience of water resources. Then she looked at me up and down, left and right. She said, Sanjay, तुम्हें common sense है? मैंने बोला, मैडम common sense तो बहुत है मेरे में. तो कहती अच्छा करोगे. So this issue of Ganga cleaning came up, and earlier programs were also there. They were limited in the scope. But we said when we need to clean Ganga, you have to have longitudinal connectivity, you have to have e-flows, Ganga has to flow, you have to have good water quality, dissolved oxygen, less fecal material, you have to have flora, fauna. The body that we formed, it was so robust that today Ganga is much cleaner than it was about 70 years back. And I'm very happy to be part of that kind of a story. So these challenges never end. Now, next is feeling of settlement and stability in life. This is extremely important for people coming from humble backgrounds, villages and small towns. I am not son of Ambani. I cannot have a 10,000 crore wedding. It's not possible for me. But I need to have a good life. I need to contribute to the society. I think this gives a purpose. Today, civil services pays well. It comes with invisibles which cannot be monetized and which cannot be quantified. Like you're famous, that's all. Then you have an impactful career. You must have heard the CVs of a lot of us. It's an impactful career. You become a role model. You shape youngsters. You become folklore in states. You also become an influencer in the society. People come and ask you for your views. And last but not the least, because Kandaswamy and I have served in United Nations, you can have an impactful role in peace and security of the world. So your role today goes beyond your geographical boundaries. So thank you very, very much, ladies and gentlemen, for patient hearing.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring words and giving us a vision of purpose and power in being such a prestigious service. I now invite Srimati Bhavna Garg to provide her valuable remarks.
Respected Professor Kamakoti, Professor Sarthi, Professor Kandaswamy, my dear colleagues on the dais, and my dear students. So as Candy sir said that, that Ravi joined IIT Delhi for that reason. So I was not the one who was geared up, that I never thought that I'll join civil services. But I was like a student leader at IIT Kanpur. I was a president of the girls' hostel. I was very much involved in Antaragani, the IIT festival. Then a lot of activities at the students. I was the best all-rounder of my batch. So you can think we were just 10 girls in a batch of 300 at that time. And still, I was quite an active member. And at that time, I decided to contest for the Gymkhana, student Gymkhana. So 2,000 students at IIT, only 100 girls, a girl contesting for the Gymkhana presidentship. It became like, wow, who's going to vote? But then, I had my own clout, So in fact, somebody passes out like I did from 94 to 98. So at that time, somebody told me that if you really want to make a difference, either you join politics or you join the civil services. So this came from Mr. T.N. Session. You know who was Mr. T.N. Session? Yeah, so he was the election commissioner who made a name, So he was giving a talk. So that was one moment, that I decided that politics was still far. So I decided, I'll go for the civil services. So this was my final year. And as Professor Kamakoti said, then I had to think about the exam part, I'll not talk much, but then the electives. Then I thought, physics and maths. But I wasn't very strong in physics. So chemistry, nobody had heard as an elective. So then I checked the syllabus of the various electives. I took up chemistry courses, organic chemistry and physical chemistry, and mathematics courses as electives, and so my journey started. But still, I wasn't very sure, when the convocation came, so I was to get the best award, as well as the same day we had our prelims examination. So I was in a fix, whether I should write the exam or not. And 3 days, we went for a rehearsal for the convocation, that, you have to do a rehearsal. The same day, the previous year exam results had come. So first, second, third rank, all IIT Kanpur. So I meet one of those guys and I ask him, do you think I can make it? I will clear the prelims, but I'm not sure about the mains exam. He said, how much can you study? I said, I can study 12 hours a day. He said, if you study 12 hours a day for 5 months, you'll make it. And then, I packed off my bags and I decided I'm writing the exam. And there was no looking back. So this is how it started. So this is how, I became the youngest. So I was only 22 when I joined the service. So I was the first, I was the first female, or you can say I was the youngest person also, like, who topped the exam, or in my first attempt. And when I topped the exams at IIT, because I was in so many all-rounding activities, people never saw me studying. So a lot of people thought that civil services have become accessible. A lot of my batchmates who were in jobs, they also decided that if Bhavna can do it, anybody can do it, And at that time, there were only 25 seats in the general category. Today, we have 180 seats overall. At that time, it was only 50 seats, in our batch, we are only 50 batchmates. So in the IAS, because I was targeting IAS and IRS, police service, I never had the heart to think. I never gave that choice. Sorry, sirs. So the most best part of the job is the day one you join the job, you are at a leadership position. You become I'll talk about my service in the IAS, you become the STM. So my first posting as SDM Pathankot, those were the days when there was no IT, there was still typewriters used. So we made, as under training only, I made a manual of MS Word, Punjabi and English. And we trained our whole staff, we bought computers, we taught our whole staff how to work on a computer. Because somebody typing and bring it to you, you want a change, then they will retype the whole thing. So as basic as that, we automated the whole DC office doing that. The Punjab land registration software, the property registration, today you all know it, you take picture and it gets automated. So me and my husband, we were the first ones who worked on that software. We designed, because I worked at Infosys after my mains exam. I wrote my mains exam, I went to Infosys, I got trained for 4-5 months. So, we tried, there were some officers who had done some job before, but we also tried to reinvent it while we were STMs. So there is a lot of things, and that software is still working in Punjab. Some modifications keep on happening. So everybody does their role and do it. But then you feel very nice and proud that this is something that you initiated, it happened. So, so after your this thing postings, then suddenly there was this case of, these are old time things, maybe in South India people don't remember, but there was this Ravi Sidhu cash for job scam, So this was the recruitment of the state civil service officers. And the chairman was Ravi Sidhu. He was caught taking money and recruiting people. So it became a big news, and the CM announced, and it came in the media, the girl who topped IAS was not selected by the state civil service, state, PPSC. So I never wrote the PPSC, but it became a news, like the UPSC, so it's a Punjab Public Service Commission, is called the PPSC. So the CM said, okay, she will reconduct the exams. So I was just 23, 24, a very corrupt organization, and suddenly you are asked to conduct a large-scale examination. So you do not know whom to trust, whom not to trust, So I had my computer system, I made a randomization software. I made, how the examination. So, you use some of your IT skills, some of your technical skills. And we conducted the exam so well that, so many people contested in the High Court. In fact, High Court was also conducting the PCS judiciary examination at the same time. They did a couple of mistakes, but in our process, there was not a single mistake. And we recruited the best of the talents. And even today, when those guys perform so well, so I feel very proud, somebody says, oh, these were some of the best guys recruited, because one officer recruited, one good officer recruited, one honest officer, well-meaning officer, purposeful officer recruited, he makes a lot of difference in people's lives. So we did a lots of recruitments during that time, and it was a very satisfying phase. And at that young age, I used to lock my room and go. That time there was no cloud server, so on my PCs were there. At the end of the day, I used to lock my room and go and take my keys with me, because I couldn't trust anybody in that organization. But still, I'm just saying the scope of the work, at that scale, when the whole media gaze is on you, the courts are looking at you, people are looking at you, like the whole organization is untrustworthy, then also, as a single person also you can make an impact. Then, district posting, suddenly, I see a friend's son, specially able child. So my friend mentioned, see, there is no, in the whole district, I have to take my son to Delhi to get him trained how to handle the specially able child. So when I got the opportunities, I built a school for especially able children. So there was some, private NGO which was running a school for the general students. I requested them, why don't you put your students in our government school, and then, we can open the school, then you have the NRIs contributing. So, when you say something, you request some industrialist or some NGO or somebody, people trust you, just by virtue of being your, maybe I would say IAS or IPS or whatever service you are. So as sir said, that you become a folklore and an authority, your reputation travels. They know that she is well-meaning. She'll get the task done. And people trust you. They contribute. We bought special furniture. We got the teachers trained. And today, even today that school is running. And students are winning Paralympic medals, So it's such a satisfying thing that what you started way back in 2007, a small endeavor, and it is continuing. And even today, some people mention your name over there, ki, oh, that was Bhavna Garg who started that, So it's not like you want a name for yourself, but it's just that the job offers so many opportunities. Every small, minor things, If I start quoting, I may just speak on. Corruption is one major thing, in the services, because it's very easy. And it's a very easy lure which comes. So, once when I was in my first posting, so there was this auction, mining auction was to happen. So I was told like this mining auction is to happen. So I was on a tour. So somebody visits my house, some MLA comes, then some minister turns up. Those days we didn't have the mobile phones to call up. So, people had to come physically to your house or call up on the landline. So my husband is asking me, what is so important about some auction tomorrow? So he says, 2-3 people came up. So I thought, there must be something important. So earlier I would have just told my Tahsildar to go, but then I decided I'll go myself. When I went there, it was some 1,000 people gathered at that mining auction, and there was some small mic and 8 or 9 members, and there was some kind of a collusion, the first auction started. So, purane time ka wo danda, people would say, dump, yes, it's done. Somebody saying 2,000, somebody saying 3,000, 4,000, he would just do dump, it's done. I said, no, it's not yet done. And because I was quite junior at that time, so the director said, oh, ma'am, you are an IAS, why don't you chair? So I said, fine, I'll chair it, though the director was supposed to chair it. So then I took everything in my hand, and, you'll not believe that, we used to earlier have auction for 3 years, and every year they used to gather 15 lakhs per year. That year, we got 3 crores per year. Well, I was just thinking at that time, that I have earned the salary of my whole career as an SDM. So I saw that, it's like every moment, in whatever way you work, so you can really, really achieve. Even for child services, if I think about my child welfare assignment, I was in social welfare, so we made SOPs, the missing children, like in Aadhaar today, I work for the digital public infrastructure in Aadhaar. So your technical skills, it helps you everywhere. And, something interesting which happened when I was like, in the beginning of, when I topped this exam, so I was invited by the Star News. And so it's a live interview at the Star News. So when they started the interview, so before that they played some reel. So I was just walking down the corridors to go to the interview panel, and there's a reel playing which is saying that IIT engineers, government is spending so much on the IIT engineers, and IIT engineers are joining civil services and they're wasting government money. Today, Professor Kamakoti said that, 20% of the class should join. So this is what I'm saying, the perception, how it changes. So they were playing this reel, I just heard on my way, So I said, see, the way the civil services can serve the country, I don't think any other services. I don't say that if you become an entrepreneur, you can't serve the country, but this is a direct, impactful, purposeful way to serve the country. And it's not just serving your country, you make a career for yourself. You study, you get an opportunity to study. I went to Princeton University, I did my master's, I went to UC Berkeley, wherever. If I just apply somewhere, I applied for some program in Sweden for a 4-month course, my boss would say, yeah, you will just apply and you'll get it, Because your experience is so vast, you have done so much of work. People are not able to, manifest that much of experience. In your short tenure of 2 or 3 years or 4 years, like sir said, every day is a different day. Every day is very satisfying. If you write your annual report, you do not know like how many things you can write. There are so many things which come up. You do so many things. You set up a district bureau. Like I was in the employment generation, we set up a district bureau in every district. So people, the employers and the employees both they got a software, they interact with each other. So these are like old time stories I'm saying, But it's still running, it's very nice to see, there is a career counseling going on. So, small things, you make a big impact. And so it has been a very creditable, it has been a very satisfying journey all through. Though there are challenges. So some people say there's a lot of political interference. Some people would say that, civil servants are very egoistic. Some people say it's very hierarchical. So, these challenges are there in every organization. And this is the ground reality of our country. And we all have to work out of these challenges together. But the only thing is, you should know your ethics, you should know your values very strongly. And you should be very convinced when you join the civil services, it is not there to make money. You get good salaries, it's quite good, You'll get a good home all through your career. And, when you'll retire, you can manage a reputable pension and a reputable house and everything for yourself. So, but yes, if you want to stay in a 5-star in a holiday, you want to have holidays abroad, yes, you can't. You'll travel abroad a lot, in your service career. But if you think that, you want to spend lakhs of monies on tourism or things like that, no, then it is not for you. But if you think that, yes, you want a satisfying career, you want opportunities, you will get it. You can work in UN, you can work in WHO, international organizations, they all look up to you. With your kind of experience, if you put your applications anywhere, nobody else can compete with you. So there are ample organizations, ample opportunities across the world. There are a lot of diplomatic assignments, where people go by virtue of their experience. So there are huge career opportunities, and everything it's all very satisfying, overall. You want to do a mountaineering trip, see, I enjoy mountaineering, so you get a 1 month special casual leave. 1 month special casual leave, it's all a paid holiday. I go, I trek, I come back. Which service allows you? Anybody in the private sector, does it allow you? You get 6 months of maternity leave. You get a medical leave, if you want to. I took 1 year off for both of my girls, when they were born, and with full salary. So there are some, unseen perks of these services. So not only in terms of the lifestyle, whenever you want a very heavy assignment or you want a lighter assignment, you have some choices. Sometimes in your life your parents are sick, or, you need some kind of a support at home, you can take a lighter assignment. It's not like always you have to be at the helm of things. So only civil services offer that flexibility. And without losing any career advantage, in the private sector, if women go out and take care of the kids for 2 years, then, it happens, she has lost her professional edge, or she is not professional enough. But in civil services, you have that advantage. You can take a break and again be the star. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for gearing us up with your inspiring speech. I now invite Shri Anuj Swaroop to share his valuable thoughts and remarks with us.
Hey guys, come and sit down. The people, come and squat. Best play or best exercise you can get. Come on. You want me to come and sit with you? I don't mind. Come. Tell me. Right, you have to move forward, come forward. Come. Last two people were standing. Come, sit down.
A very good evening. Namaste to respected Director Sir, Professor Kamakoti, respected Dr. Kandaswamy, Professor Sarthi, my senior colleagues on the dais, and dear students. First of all, I would like to convey gratitude and thank you to IIT Madras for giving me this opportunity to speak at this prestigious forum. Thank you very much. So already we have heard from our senior panelist what civil service is, what kind of opportunities you have, what kind of an impact you can make while you are a civil servant. I would try and focus more on the process. So we already know where we want to go, but the path which leads to that destination, I would like to focus on that path. And I'm sure all of you must be knowing that UPSC Civil Services exam is a 3-step process. So step 1 being the preliminary examination, step 2 being the UPSC mains examination, and the last step is the personality test. And the unique thing about this exam is that it's like snakes and ladder. So if you may be at the last step, that is the personality test, but if you are not able to clear it, you have to again start from block 1. You have to follow the whole process of preliminary examination, mains examination, and the personality test. So this is something which you need to really be aware of, because sometimes a lot of us start focusing a lot more on the mains examination, considering that that is the difficult part. But the difficult part is also ensuring that you clear your prelims, in which I think all of you are engineers, you have an inherent advantage, because CSAT, which is although qualifying, you will do great in that. No worry about that part. And GS, obviously you all can study and ensure that you clear the preliminary examination. The reason I am focusing more on preliminary examination is that that is where the whole the whole filtering happens. So approximately 1 million students apply for the examination. Half of them turn up on the day of the preliminary examination, that is around 5 lakh, and approximately 15,000 or so qualify for the UPSC mains examination. So you can very well identify, relate that the importance of preliminary examination. After that, I will just give a brief structure about the mains examination. It consists of 9 papers. 2 of them are qualifying in nature. Those are your language papers, which is English, Hindi, or any other regional language which you would have chosen. And I have seen, bright people, bright minds failing at times in these qualifying examinations, because if you don't clear the language papers, your other papers will not even be examined. So your whole 1 year goes to waste. And apart from these 2 language papers, you have 7 papers, and the current structure being in which there are 4 journal studies paper, 2 papers for the optional that you would have chosen, and 1 essay paper. So that is how it is. Each of them is 250 marks, that is 1750 total in the mains. And broadly, I think 55, if you are scoring more than 50%, I think that's the cutoff which has been for the open category. If I have to go deeper into what all is there in the GS exams, so these are, so GS1 is mostly about history, geography, and culture. GS2 focuses more about the polity, constitution, and international relations. GS3 is economics, science, and technology, and GS4 is ethics. So if you, I would, take some more time to further focus on how to prepare for the GS and the essay exams, if it is okay with all of you. The key to GS is that, journal studies hai, at times you like, because, you may be studying a particular kind of subjects. So at times you find it very interesting to read something new. So, but the key is to, always focus on the syllabus. Nothing more, nothing less, that's all. Yeah, that syllabus has to be your Gita, Bible, Quran. No way you are supposed to deviate. PhD nahi karni hai. ठीक है? Because a lot of people make this mistake of, doing this PhD ki maza aa raha hai to aur पढ़ लेते हैं. No, not like that. ठीक है? So you please focus what UPSC is asking you to, prepare for. And then follow the standard book list, which is NCERT books, class 6th to class 12th books for general studies subjects. That's sufficient. And maybe you can also top it up with the government websites like maybe PIB, the official releases that we have, or some other websites. And now there is no dearth of material also, and that is where you have to choose really carefully that what all 2-3 sources you want to refer, or to a monthly magazine. Almost all the coaching institutes now bring out a monthly magazine, but you need to only choose and identify which one suits you well, and then just focus on that and read that. Then the next thing is that newspapers. So I know it's a tiring thing and a boring thing to do, but reading a newspaper really helps when it comes to GS, because in current scheme of things, it's more than depth. At times it is the breadth of knowledge that UPSC is asking you. Because in a normal GS paper, I think you are being asked to write 20-25 questions. So you can imagine the breadth. And if you have read about a subject and if you remember it, then you can at least write 2-3 good points or 4-5 good points and still score some marks if you have not, you don't know the subject that well. So that is one. Usually Hindu and Indian Express are the ones which a lot of us prefer. Then I can't overemphasize the importance of revision, because you would have been reading a lot different subjects, but if you are not able to recall and write exactly, and this is also true for the prelims also, because the prelims questions, the options are very tricky which are given. So if you need to recall exactly what it is, what the UPSC is asking, so that you can answer it correctly. So revision is really important. You can choose whatever suits you, maybe a weekly thing or a monthly thing, whatever suits you. So that will really help you. And then I think once you have covered, your 50-60% of the syllabus, it's a good idea to start with answer writing. So I'm sure that here also some coaching or online coaching material might be available, or a good starting point is to just have a look at the previous year question papers, and just write, because then you will understand that what UPSC is asking, and then accordingly you can recalibrate your studying, because at times you may be reading it like a normal essay, okay, time pass kar rahe hain, aisa nahi hai. What UPSC is asking, you need to write or you need to study that way. So that is really important. And I think mock test maybe for prelims or even for your mains exam really helps, because then you will be able to really ace your time management skills, so that you can complete whole of your paper, and also see where you stand in terms of your peers who are writing the exam that year. So these are, broadly some indicators which I wanted to share with you when it comes to GS, General Studies. Similarly, if I talk about the essay paper, so essay is something that you are supposed to, I think in the current scheme of things, you are supposed to write 2 essays of, I think, 1,000 to 1,200 words each. And there are 2 sections. One is maybe a more abstract subject, and one is on the political development, social or economic issues which the country is facing. So 2 totally different areas. And I think here it is important that so all your reading about general studies really helps in this area, because you already have some information about the topic that is being asked for. The essay topic could be about the GDP, or Make in India, or artificial intelligence, whatever. So you would already be having some some information about the subject that is being asked. But then writing an essay, I think it is important that you practice before the exam, and once you write something, you read it yourself, because you are yourself the best judge of what you have written. And you will get to know that if a single page what you have written, if it is making sense, it is flowing, it is logical, so yes, it's a decent or it's a good essay. Otherwise you will know that what am I trying to say, कहना क्या चाहते हो वाला मूवमेंट हो जाएगा आपके साथ, तो वो नहीं करना है. It has to be logical. And a good essay, generally it has to start with a good introduction. It could be a good, very startling fact or some good quote which aligns with the theme or the topic of the essay. That is one. And then the body in the body or the main part of the essay, you can very well analyze or expand the subject through various dimensions. It can be the social impact, the technology part of it, or the environment part of it, or the economics of it. Like that you can expand and expand that topic. And in the end, you can very well summarize it nicely by conveying your main message, that what is it that you want to convey. It's a good idea to put it, in a balanced manner, put the things in a balanced manner, or if possible, and if the topic allows you to present it in a very optimistic or a forward-looking way. So that's all from my side. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for giving us the important brief overall structure of the examination. I now invite Shri G. Jawahar to provide us with his valuable remarks.
Respected Director, sir, respected Dean, sir, respected Professor and DG Kanasamy, sir, all my senior colleagues and my dear friends, very good afternoon to all. First of all, I would like to share how I got introduced into civil services. First, I consider you all to be very lucky because till I graduated, I had very little idea about civil services. And after my graduation from NIT Trichy, I joined NTPC. There, one of my roommates, he was from IIT Kharagpur. He was preparing, and for preliminary exams for company, he asked me to apply. So I went along with him for company. So I cleared prelims, fortunately. So I really appreciate the vision by all the organizers here for making you, exposing you to this kind of session. This is actually really will be insightful to all of you, seeing this much of crowd here. So that's how I got introduced into civil services. And even my optional, he was having the materials for anthropology. And even I studied biology in my school. So I took up anthropology and finally I got into the service. So as my friend already explained, the structure of the exam and how you have to study. One more thing I wanted to add is, main thing is that you have to cultivate a habit of reading. So that helped me in clearing the preliminary exam, because I used to read newspapers since I was in school. My father used to buy the Hindu, so I used to read. Especially for preparation, you go through the editorials, which will be written by all the very experienced and experts in their own field. So you get the insights of various issues that are happening currently. So reading habit, especially reading newspaper, is really important for preparing civil service. Then, secondly, after preparation, the most important thing, as already I want to reiterate, is revision and taking mock exams. Actually, I was also a technocrat, and I was not used to write lengthy papers. Actually, I got into interviews thrice. So first time I went into the interview, but I could not clear. Second time also, because I could not finish the papers. So we have to practice fast writing. Whatever you have prepared, it has to come on paper, and it has to come coherently, and it has to be understandable. So you write the mock test and you read yourself and see whether you are answering up to the point. That's how you can actually improve yourself. So that is one of the important aspects of preparation of exams. Then I want to share my experience in the academy after getting into the service. So after getting into the service, my training at NPA Hyderabad, it was like, so already we have fond memories of the academy. First is that we have to wake up early at around, we have to fall in at 5:30. For that, we have to wake up at 4:30, get ready. So we have squads, number of squads, 6 squads we have. So we have to fall in there. They'll be checking whether you have properly shaved and you have a proper haircut and everything. Then only one thing I learned from my academic training is, whatever that comes, let me face it. So till now it happens. So for qualifying our physical exam, we have to clear a 40-kilometer route march with 20 kilo of weight. So it was there. So it seemed insurmountable, but still I got that attitude, let me face it. Then I have to complete 16-kilometer running. Then same, let me face it. Then I have to undergo a jungle survival course. You have to take all the rations for 1 week. You have to be, you'll be left in the jungle for your own. You have to cook yourself and so many things. That also. So because of that kind of training, now what happens is that when I see a violent crowd in front of me, hundreds of people or thousands of people, there is a little fear, but the training which I had undergone, it has made me like, let me face it, whatever it is. And so far, things have been good. It has been had been successful in many of the really tough challenges. As sir already told, there are so many James Bond moments which we cannot tell. So, so many things we feel that way. And not even one day I felt bored because I have interacted with my colleagues there. So many will, they rant actually. Life is getting on, it's boring. Not even a single day I felt that way. Till now, till this day after I joined the civil services. And especially I wanted to tell about something where what is the role of technocrats in civil service. Already ma'am has already shared her unique experience. Even a short experience in Infosys has really helped her in bringing a change in the system. So similarly, even my own experience as an engineer at NTPC, I worked for NTPC for 5 years, has helped in me in the civil services. The comparison I would tell you, the technical knowledge and whatever you can do technically, which is far superior than what I, in civil services, what I had as a technical role in NTPC. And yes, and you can do a lot of things. There are many intangible things you can do. As SP in Nagapattinam, I was serving as SP in Nagapattinam for 2 years. Whenever I get bored, I get into the sea for sailing, for recce. There are a lot of, there's a coastal security group in police. So we go for recce, and in Erode district, there is huge forest. There is a tiger reserve. If it gets boring, I go for combing. So there's no dearth of experiences you can have in civil services. At the same time, you can make a really, really great impact in the society. One of the things is that I wanted to share. I prepared a video, but it is not working. There was a movie from 2008 called Eagle Eye. I think some would have watched. Anybody have watched that movie? Eagle Eye. So it's about AI system. It came in 2008, where they predicted the future, where the entire planet will be covered with cameras and anybody can be tracked. So one AI system will be guiding few people to get into doing something really bad. So it kind of inspired me. It was awe-inspiring. But right now the technology is such that in Erode district, what I did, so it was so inspiring for me. I got a server for some 6 lakhs from the local corporation fund. And what we did, there is a lot of, even when you go out and see in the city, there are a lot of digital cables ubiquitously moving. So there'll be digital cables everywhere, because even cable TV networks are from digital cables. So we started connecting all the CCTV cameras through those cables and brought some 700 cameras of 700 cameras, network cameras in Erode city. Then we started installing some software. It was really useful. It was similar to that kind of hi-fi science what they envisaged in 2008, not very long, long ago. So this kind of experience, even as a junior level officer, as an SP at the district, you can do in civil services, which whatever you studied in as a engineer in your degree, it will never go waste in civil service. There is always scope for everything. from as a police officer, I deal with one end. I deal with the medical part in forensics, how a person died, what are the bodily changes, so what are the type of injuries nature. And this side, we in investigation, we see the auditing to check if there is some fraud in things. So we need to have the basic idea of auditing. Nothing goes waste. Everything is knowledge, and you can use it so well in the civil service, and it's really a good opportunity, and you will get full gratification in each and every day of your service. So I wish you all the best for you and everybody who have gathered here. You have come here for so with this intent of getting to know about the civil service, and I guarantee you never get bored, or even if you get into the service, you will never regret. So thank you for the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your experience with us. I now invite Shri Katta Ravi Teja, sir, to provide us with his valuable remarks.
To the respected director, sir, to the dean, sir, and to all the esteemed panelists, to the faculty and all the students here, a very good evening to you. And it's been after a very long time that I'm giving a lecture to people who are in their t-shirts and shorts and slippers. This was long back in my college when we used to give our viva that I saw such a crowd. So it's very nostalgic thing. And when Kannasamy sir and Professor Sardi sir called me, I just told them that my counseling for IIT happened in IIT Madras. It was in year 2013. So I never knew I'll come back to the same college and give a lecture on civil services and not IIT. So that's a very different experience I'm having now. And so I still remember my father and me, we have come to Central Railway Station and we took a cab. So the driver was explaining us the entire Chennai. This is Omandurar Hospital, this is Central Railway Station, this is Anna Salai, and this is IIT, this is Raj Bhavan and all. And now coincidentally, now I'm working as Regional Deputy Commissioner in Greater Chennai Corporation to the northern part of Chennai. So the Central Railway Station and Omandurar Hospital come under my jurisdiction. So again, 10 years back, I never knew that I'll be here, having under my administration. So I think the life has come a full circle today here. And it's always a privilege and a pleasure to give a lecture to the IITians, because already you are smart to some extent. So we are just giving you some knowledge on how to crack the so-called difficult exam. It's difficult for sure. And a basic difference between the advanced and the civil services is when you're preparing for advanced, and since I'm expecting most of you have gone through the advanced exam here, you are all of similar age group and you're all preparing for those 2-3 years, the same syllabus, the same paper and the same time. So everything is very uniform as far as advanced is concerned, JEE advanced or JEE mains. But whereas civil services, the fundamental difference is you're going to compete from an age group of 21 to an age group of 36. People giving multiple attempts, people giving different papers, that is, the optional paper is different for different people. And you will be also competing with people who have already cracked the service. So some people who are in other services like IPS or IRS, they would again try to give another attempt for IAS. So you'll be competing with them. So there's the IIT exam per se is very homogeneous, and this is very heterogeneous. So that is the first challenge you have to overcome. So, but just before I get into the process, I just want to say that I very much relate to this kind of a setup, because when I was in my first year of college, we had such lectures, and I was telling Anuj sir that I used to sit in the rows in between because there was no place. So I was just telling that back in our college, it used to be too crowded and people used to sit on the rows. And I think by the time I started speaking, people already started sitting on the rows, because that shows the enthusiasm that the children and that the students have for civil services exam. And I used to be, very anxious and what to do, how to crack this exam. And first of all, so as I told, why I chose Delhi is because actually my father made a decision for me, so it was not my decision. As most of us, which branch to choose and where to go is almost a parent decision for most of them. And I always wanted to go to Bombay, do something in Bombay, but nothing else. But then my father told, you go to Delhi, you will have an exposure towards civil services. So that's when in the counseling day, we have chosen Delhi. So, but once I got to Delhi, I think one good thing you have in IIT especially is a very good exposure to all fields. You have a lot of literary festivals and cult festivals. So you will have, like IIT Delhi, we had a specific festival called Speranza, wherein you get, there's a particular day called Alumni Day, where people from all sectors come and they give an exposure to their field, like some of how we are giving for civil services. There used to be on consultancy, there used to be on private IT sector, there used to be entrepreneurship, there used to be politicians, ministers who are IIT Delhi alumnus, they used to come, and then obviously the civil servants. So I always used to attend the civil servants one because I was curious, but also I used to sit in all those lectures just to have a flair of what is going on in other sectors and am I taking a right decision. So I was always double checking myself. I have done an internship in Hindustan Unilever also. So I was in mechanical engineering department, so just a third year I did there. So then I got a clarity of the private sector to some extent. Then I think after that the deal was sealed that okay, I have to go to civil services. So in my 4th year of college is when I actually started preparing thoroughly for my civil service exam. So my brief journey has been, I've passed out in 2017, gave an attempt. So what Bhavna ma'am's journey is the dream run. I think all civil servants would have, any day would want such a journey where you are clearing your BTech and then you're writing an exam, you're getting top rank 1 and getting home cadre IAS. So all of us, we prepare like that. Even I was like, 2017 I'll pass, 2017 I'll give the exam, 2018 I'll get first rank and I'll get my home cadre Telangana. So that was my own goal for myself. But later I realized I did not even clear the prelims of 2017. And it's not just a 1-2 mark, it was a 17 mark difference from the cutoff. So that was a reality check for me, and whole world got shook for me because I was an IITian and I was thinking so much of myself, and buddy, I could not even clear the prelims, and that too with 17 marks difference. So that's when reality hit hard for me. But that also I think is a reality check on what are the gaps you need to clear. So then 2017 is what the exam happened, I couldn't clear. So then I was obviously aiming for the 2018 exam. So then this time I realized that my general studies was not that good. So my optional in this exam was mathematics. That from the day one I was sure, and I used to take electives as Director Sir said. So at least I used to take electives because I had genuine interest in mathematics. And then I took my optional also as mathematics because that helped me, the electives also helped me. So mathematics, I never took coaching, it was on my own, but GS I was not confident. So there I took coaching in Wajiram in Delhi. So for 1 whole year I prepared, and so next year 2018 I cleared prelims with 16 marks more than the cutoff. So I was 17 marks less than the cutoff, 16 marks more than the cutoff. The reason being, if you clear 16 marks more, you can also clear Indian Forest Service. So many of you might not know, there's something called Indian Forest Service as well, which is an all India service, which is also a cadre-based service. So I applied for both. So I happened to clear that as well. Then in that year, I did mains interview, I got into Indian Postal Service. I got ranked 349. So Postal Service is one of the 26 services that civil service offers. So most of you only know IAS, IPS or IRS, but then there are 26 other services. Indian Postal Service, Indian Defense Estate Service, and IRS also, you have IRS IT and IRS Customs, IP TAF. So there's 26 such services are there. So I suggest you go through all those services. They are also very good careers you can have an exposure on. So after that, then 2018 exam, I got Postal Service. So I again sat for another time, 2019 exam. And then that's what I got 77, I got into IAS. So this is my third attempt in which I got into IAS. So from Bhavna ma'am to me, there's such a big gap of not clearing prelims and getting into some random service and then getting into IAS. So why I'm telling this journey is because most of us would eulogize the preparation, and our interaction with the service is maximum either through the movies or through relatives or parents that we know something called IAS exists. And to be very frank, the movies have not been kind to IAS at least. The IPS at least have some fair share of good movies for the people to know. And I'm sure most of you, or at least half of you, have seen the recent movie called Game Changer, which is supposed to be about IAS, but trust me, it is nowhere close to a life of an IAS, and it is, please don't take it as a reference at all. So we were in preparation without knowing what exactly IAS means. And I'm sure, I think most of you have come for an exposure of it, and I think Bhavna ma'am has given a good intro to the service, but I'm sure there are a lot of dimension to the service. So I request you to first understand what you're preparing for, not just because it is, and I'm sure most of you have gotten into IIT without knowing what much is there in the IIT. It's just because people are competing and we are competent enough, we prepared and we got into it. But most of us will get that Jerusalem syndrome once you get into IIT. So Jerusalem syndrome is, most people think Jerusalem is the best place. Once they go there, they realize it's like any other city. It also has garbage, it also has sewer. So similarly, most of us have some idea of IIT, but once we got in here, we know the reality of IIT. So what you're preparing for, please have a good idea of it. It can be IAS, it can be IPS, or it can be foreign service as well. But have an idea of why you're preparing. And I think this lecture to some extent will give you that exposure. So just diving into the preparation directly. So I'll just take a few minutes because the time is running out. So the exam, I'm very pinpointed. You're all IITians, you're all smart. So I'll just hit the pinpoint without any beating around the bush. So exam is for 2075 marks. 275 marks is for the interview. 1750 is for the mains, which is the written part. Most of us think of service only in terms of interview, especially at this stage. So my sincere submission, interview, please don't prepare now. It is nowhere in the scope. It is not a worthy thing to even think of as of now. Please remove that mindset of you imagining that you giving some answer to some board and you get rammed up into IAS is not what you are supposed to have. Please remove that notion. Your main concentration should be on written exam, which is the mains. Before that, as Anuj sir said, there's something called prelims, which is the first stage. So at least, let's say 10 years back, prelims was a cakewalk because you know certain books, you have to do certain things and you used to clear. And the basic difference between the preparation of civil services, a generation back and now, is that a generation back, you should have the idea or the exposure of what to read to get into IAS or to get into civil services. In 2025, you should have an idea of what not to read to get into civil services because you have information abundancy now. Back then, it was only few books. There was lack of exposure. People did not know which library to go, which book to pick. Knowing that itself took 1 or 2 attempts for people, and then they got into service. But now, everything is available. YouTube has everything. So, no chance of any lack of exposure as of now. But yes, you should know what not to read. Because people get indulged in so many books every attempt and they keep on failing it. So you should have a sure shot strategy. So prelims is getting very wild. UPSC is getting very wild in terms of preparing papers. It wants to make the coaching industry redundant. So have that mindset in you. So what I suggest is basic NCERTs, have a preparation. Then go for very basic books. Like polity, you have Spectrum. Environment, you have Shankar IAS. Polity, you have Lakshmikant, and history, you have Spectrum. So these are the basic books. You'll get this book list anywhere online you search. Any topper would give you this list. But what is more important is to prepare MCQs, have a practice. Someone like Kohli would not go and hit a proper cover drive just like that. He would have hit at least 10,000 cover drives before going and having that beautiful, elegant cover drive. Similarly for prelims, have as many MCQs as solved. From my first exam to the second attempt, what I've improved is my practice. I must have solved at least 6,000 to 7,000 MCQs before going to my prelims, which has only 100 MCQs. So prelims of 200 marks, then that is paper 1, then you have CSAT, which is paper 2. Of late, CSAT, which is the aptitude test, is also getting tougher. But considering all IITians and all smart people, I'm not expecting any much problem there. But yeah, please have a look on CSAT paper as well. The first paper is general studies. And as Jawahar sir said, have a newspaper reading habit daily. You should be aware of current affairs. More importantly, practice. As simple as that. To get into advanced, you must have prepared so many problems in maths, physics, and chemistry. Same goes here. Please prepare at least 6,000, 7,000 MCQs. Only then you will have that confidence. Then coming to mains, which is the most important part. So prelims is just a qualifying, the marks won't come in. But written part, which is the mains, this is where your rank is decided. So you have total of 7 papers, essay, 4 GS papers, and 2 optional papers. The bullseye in this is your optional paper. Optional, there are again 26 subjects. Please have a look. Please spend some quality time in deciding the optional. That will decide your rank. I'm a mechanical engineer, so I took all the past 5 years of mechanical engineering papers, past 5 years of mathematics papers. In fact, I took randomly economics also because just the word sounded good. But then I dwell into each of them. Then I realized Most of my maths syllabus was somewhere JE advanced with a few topics additional. And that's where I took electives to match those. So then I chose mathematics as my preparation. So what difference it makes is when you have something like mathematics, physics, or for that matter engineering, is you have to heavily spend time. At least 70% of your time should be spent on optional, because you have bulky syllabus, you have very large time, but at the same time you have good returns. Most of your score you can get it from optional. But on the other hand, if you take humanities like anthropology, sociology, philosophy, political science and all, relatively the syllabus are smaller, but at the same time the return on these optionals is also, so ROI, which is the return on investment, is somewhat lesser in the humanities optional, which is higher in mathematics. So if you are someone who is wanting to take a humanities optional, then choose see how the optional is performing in the last 3-4 years. Are you comfortable with the syllabus? Basically, I should not say, but yeah, optional is something like your spouse. You need to travel with it throughout the preparation. You can't leave it any day. So you should be comfortable with that paper. So I was very much comfortable with mathematics, and any day I would take up mathematics and do it. So I had that zeal. Similarly, if you find that resonance with any subject, please take it. That is very important. So that covers nearly 500 of your marks, and the major rank deciding is your optional. So be very careful by choosing it. Next is the essay paper. Essay, you have to write 2 essays in 3 hours. Each consists of 1,000 words. I am quite sure if I give you a paper now and give you a sentence and elaborate in 1,000 words, none of you would even be able to write more than 1 paragraph. But then you have to develop the skill of writing an essay just with one topic. So that is where your writing practice comes in. And essay is the second most important thing of the entire preparation, which gives you maximum marks. That's what differentiates you from others. How best you can express yourself in limited time in limited words when compared to others. So essay, please have very good focus. And next comes the 4 general studies papers, out of which the 4th paper is called ethics and aptitude. Again, this is one paper which completely differentiates you from others. So why I'm telling you these 3 papers is, this is where you can get the brownie points when compared to others. Ultimately, you're in a competition. You're supposed to clear civil service exam. As Anuj sir said, you're not here for doing PhD, MTech and BTech, writing research papers on UPSC preparation. It's a race you're in. You have to have edge over others. These are the 3 papers which give you edge over others. That is your optional paper, your ethics paper and your essay paper. These are the places, if you can invest maximum time, you can get the best return and you can get the highest difference when compared to your other competitors. The last 3 papers, GS 1, 2, 3, which are like history, polity, geography, economics, international affairs and all, are somewhat in the same range. Putting much effort in these doesn't matter. 19-20 ka farak hai, you get somewhere plus or 5-10 marks difference. But the other papers are what are the maximum impactful papers. So this is about mains. And once you clear this, once you have a strong mains, because I am supposing everyone is here for IAS. I don't think anyone has come here to prepare for postal service. You're all here for IAS or IPS or foreign service, which are all top services. So once you have a very good command in your mains paper, then you can go confidently and sit in an interview. Interview is all about your personality. It gets over in half an hour of time. There's very minimal you can actually do to go to interview, because you can't change your personality overnight. You can just polish it, you can speak well, you can use good words, but half an hour is good enough time for people to assess your personality. How much ever sugarcoating you do, if I let you speak for half an hour, your personality comes out. So you can't do much for interview, but yeah, you can definitely get an additional 20-30 marks with some preparation at that point of time. So this is the brief journey you have to go through. And as I said, your optional is very, very important, and your mains exam is where you're supposed to get the maximum edge. So with that, I want to give last tips, is that preparation gets quite lonely, especially if you're a very serious candidate. You tend to be more focused towards your preparation, but that again, you have to be very consciously planning your preparation, because you should be in touch with all other aspirants. Because as I said, it is not something, a very formula-based thing. The exam is evolving, the competitors are evolving, so you should be in touch with your fellow competitors, see what they're reading, see what is the trend, see how people are making their answers better, how are they expressing themselves better, because UPSC doesn't come and speak to you directly. UPSC speaks to you only through its question paper. how to understand a person is to interact with that. How to understand UPSC is to understand its papers. So as our seniors told, you should have a very good understanding of the past 5 years paper. Just see the pattern, just see what UPSC wants from you and see what others are doing. Only then you can evolve. If you're going away, so I've heard the lecture, I know the book list, I'll prepare, I'll go and write. That's not gonna work. You have to have in touch with all the other competitors, see what they're doing, and then evolve your own strategy. And the preparation gets quite lonely. There will be financial problems. There will be some emotional and social problems as well. But this preparation teaches you to overcome them and then achieve your goal. And once you can, if you can overcome these problems and clear the exam with a good rank, that process will help you in dealing difficult problems later in the service. So it is not something that comes overnight. You have to struggle through it. And I'm sure all of you are well-intentioned people who have put some quality time in preparing for IIT as well. So if you can continue the same zeal, and I would say if you can continue the same zeal of what you've put in IIT preparation, you can definitely get civil services. But yeah, because as we age, we get a little complacent. So you have to just get back to that IIT mode. Once you're there, I think you can clear this exam. So that is my time, and I really thank IIT Madras for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your experience with us and telling us the overall structure of the examination. I would now like to open the floor for question and answer session, and please feel free to ask any questions.
Seen people, one was from IIT Delhi only, he was in civil service, he has done civil service mechanical engineering, I guess. And what happened is that even after 4 years, he has given mains twice, but he was not able to qualify it. And I know a person directly who has given thrice, and some people have given interview twice. After they have spent 4 to 6 years in this process. And what will they do? How will they get back into that earning phase now? How will they realign their life now? Sometimes this happens because not everyone will qualify and not everybody will make it. Yes.
Hello. I like to summarize this by only 2 sentences. Okay, this is a dog eats dog world. Dog eat dog. This smarter dog survives. Okay, in this rate, you have to be a smarter dog. That's all.
So I feel if you're preparing for the civil services, you should put a time bar for yourself. Think about one attempt is it's very rare. So you should think about, okay, after one, I'll take the second. But only if, because one attempt that gives you an idea whether you can make it or not. Be honest to yourself. Some people are it also happens, he's a IAS aspirant, and that is your qualification. You see a LinkedIn profile, IAS aspirant. Please don't do that. So don't let your professionalism go down. See, IIT is a great profession. You have many other options. So, the mind also starts going down. So when I was to prepare, I said that I spoke to that guy, he said 5 months and 12 hours a day. That was what motivated me. Okay, it's only 5 months, 12 hours a day. And I kept a timetable very strictly, Jawahar said, waking up at this time. I monitored every moment of my day. I didn't even let any random thought to enter my mind. If anything dissuading came to my mind, I said, I'll think after the final mains exam. I said, it's a wall. Any thoughts, anything distractions, I kept it all for that day. The day I finished my exam, I felt like I have no agenda because, I had kept everything else away from me. So if I made it in the first attempt because I was too focused. जैसे होता है ना आग लगी होती है ना अंदर वो जुनून होना चाहिए. Yes, you should know what to study, what not to study. This is one thing, what Ravi said, that you should know what to study. You have to be a smart guy. Sir said the dog eat dog thing, You have to be a smart person. You should know what to study, organize your syllabus properly, stay focused. Still, if you don't get into the first attempt, try second time. But then, third attempt, I feel that should be a very conscious decision. And also the interview weightage is very less. So don't think if somebody gets into the interview, so it's like he just missed because the interview was bad. No. The cutoff for the mains, you may have qualified just at the borderline part. So in the interview, you could not made it those total marks to get into your merit. And even after you join the services, you should know that there's a 2 year of professional training. And there also you are again assessed. And then the final merit of the batch is prepared after that. Did you know that? Yes. Right, that's nice, yeah. You guys are more informed. I didn't even know that. So, that is what Ravi said. Today the information is too much. We guys didn't know. When I wrote my exam, I didn't know that at this marks I can be a topper. I just told somebody, yeah, this is my assessment of marks. He said, yeah, at this marks, so you'll be the topper. I didn't know. So it's very nice that you know it. But then be sure, put a timeline for yourself. So don't make IAS aspirant or an IFS aspirant as your career goal. Thanks.
Thank you very much. It was such an insightful talk by all of you. So my question is for Anuj Swarup sir. So what initially motivated you to choose IFS, and how is it different from other domestic services such as IS and IPS?
Thank you. The thing is that in foreign service, yes, your field is outside India and you are representing India. So that way it is different because in IS or IPS, they are cadre-based services. You can be in, you initially at least you are in a particular state or a union territory within India. But for us, as I would like to say that if you are joining young, so as you join, you are a junior diplomat in an embassy. So you will be looking after different wings within the embassy. You will be heading at least 2 or 3 wings. But when you compare to your colleagues in all India based services, the creature comforts might not be that great. That is one difference that you need to be aware of. So, but as you become senior, you start heading a small mission or a small embassy, or like in my case, I am heading a passport office within India also. So things start getting better. So that is one big difference. And yes, representing India abroad has its own charm. Whatever you are, working on. So one day you could be. So it has its own, wide responsibilities, set of responsibilities. So one day you would be negotiating a MOU, obviously with inputs from the line ministry in India, and the other day you will be working on a cultural program as large as, say, the International Yoga Day, something like that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So another thing is also, so Anuj would tell me, so in foreign services, you are better paid.
You get better paid.
Yeah, that is, so once you are posted outside, since you are not in India, you are compensated for in terms of foreign allowance, which is tax-free. It's $1 salary, so that is, another incentive for all of you.
And second, you should have some diplomatic skills. You see, I didn't opt for foreign service. I only had IAS and IRS, as my option. So like Ravi said, there's a list of 26 services. So when you fill up that form, you have to give your priorities. And very interestingly, if you goof up, the service allotment happens exactly as per the priorities you gave when you're filling up your mains form. Is it today also the same? Yes. So at the times when you're filling up your mains, you have to give your priority of services. That my first preference is, say, foreign service or IAS or IRS. So as per your rank, like, right now in IIT, what happens? Like, you're selected and then you give your priorities. But in our services, when you're filling your mains form, you give your priority of services. So I filled up only 2 priorities, IAS and IRS. Later I realized that I have to be in top 100. Now our seats have improved, top 100 what? At that time, 91, the IRS closed. So I realized that I have to be in top, 91 to get into the exam, otherwise I don't have anything. So that part also you should be careful. So then you should have a bit, you should see yourself. Like I felt like, I can't handle the crime or the violence. I can't even see a movie with the violence. So I felt I can't be in police. I felt that I'm too straight. I can't be in foreign service. But I felt, yes, as a revenue service officer, yes, I can work, it will increase the revenue of the country or whatever. But as an IAS, yes, I felt I am a leader, natural leader. So that was how I evaluated myself. So I chose those 2. So you should also see that, because as IITians, it's not a majburi to go into civil service. It is a choice. So as a choice, you should take a conscious decision that what service you want to go. So many people, in strong engineering backgrounds, they may even choose to go into the railway services. People have made great careers in railway services also. So you would like to add something on this?
So my question is for Ravi Teja sir. Sir, when you're choosing your career, how did you weigh it? As you're from IIT background, and also ma'am was saying about a lot of information. We also get a lot of information about getting a career towards technology, serving there, or towards entrepreneurship areas where we are supported now a lot even from IITs, and towards civil services there is an option that we can take it also. How did you weigh this? There are multiple opportunities and we need to weigh it equally.
I think that is one genuine question every engineering grad would have, especially in their 3rd and 4th year of graduation. They'll be having this question of where to go next. So that's why I suggested use your 4 years in IIT to get exposure to all the fields out there, and you will have such sessions, I'm sure, of other fields also. So you try out, and I'm sure you'll be having some internship also. So as I said, I was in Hindustan Unilever. I got into the supply chain management, and I did that for some 2.5 months in Bombay. So that's where I realized I was so one thing is this Kida of civil services was always there in the brain. So my orientation was I used to compare anything with IAS. So I was already biased in my selection from the beginning. So I used to maybe compare entrepreneurship with civil services, or some field in software area with the civil services, and I used to weigh it out, because so it's something like my father's unfulfilled dream is what I have fulfilled in this generation. He wrote his exam. He was from a reputed college in Hyderabad. He couldn't clear. So then he thought next generation should do it. My sister couldn't do it. So then I was the last hope, and somehow I cleared it. So my selection of it was quite biased. So I think I'm not the right person to guide you on that. But yes, I can always say that take a conscious choice. As ma'am said, your getting into civil services is not a majburi. It's not someone forcing you to get there. It's a choice. As an IITian, you have always a choice to get a good job, a well-paying job in the private sector. So you have to make a call now, whether you want money, whether you want fame, whether you want power, or whether you want that opportunity to serve people, and whether you want that reputation and all. So this is where I think that churn has to go inside you, and you have to find that calling. But the thing is, if you're not financially too constrained from the family side, then I think it's better to give a shot in the initial years, because you will have high enthusiasm, and then you will be able to spend that requisite amount of time and effort in this preparation. Because once you get into job and then you get married, and then slowly things start getting, you get busy in other things. So I think if you're not financially constrained, then do take up immediately, because 1-2 years later you will be still fresh in the market to get a job. But if you are not financially comfortable, then please take a job, try with simultaneously, and then take a call whether to go about it fully or not.
See, civil service is more of a calling than a job. So it is job plus plus plus. So if you want to have an impact in the society, then this is the right place.
So good evening everyone. So my question is to Ravi Teja sir. Sir, you said you cleared Indian Postal Service in your second attempt. So how did you manage to clear UPSC in your third attempt along with your postal service job?
So there's one option called EOL, that is extended leave, which is if you get a service, any service for that matter, except for Indian Foreign Service, all other services give you an opportunity to write an exam another time. Ah, sir, वो तो IAS तो. So IAS, but once you get IAS, don't prepare again. So that logic. So as ma'am said, if you are in IAS or IFS and if you want to rewrite, then you have to resign and write it. Whereas all other services, whichever you get, you can take an EOL, extended leave, and then you have you can prepare another year. So when I got in 2000, so the timeline is in 2018 exam, the results will be in 2019. That is just 1 month before the 2019 prelims. So that's when I got to know I'm in postal, and I obviously wanted to prepare again. So I skipped the FC, that is the foundation course, which is common for all the services. And I wrote, so you have to just request for a exemption. After my mains is when I go to the Postal Service Academy. I apply for an EOL there, saying I am preparing again. Preparing again is one ground for EOL. So that is very important. You writing exam another time is a ground for giving extended leave. So I applied for that. Then I got another year of extension. And luckily, in that year itself, I was able to clear it. So that is always allowed. And then you will get enough time to prepare for the next attempt.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir.
She has been waiting for a long time.
Yeah. Thank you.
Not you and the blue.
Yeah. Can I? Okay, sure.
Thank you. So my question is, you have mentioned that the officers are allowed to take study breaks and they can go for higher studies. So they can study only the areas which are directly related to their service, or can they study something else as well?
I mean, you can take a 2 year study leave. During study leave, you are paid the money, I mean the salary. The job should be, I mean the study should be related to your job. It could be as wide as you taking MBA also. You can't say I'll do Greek literature. It's not related, okay. As long as you can kind of make it related to your job, it's acceptable. You can do irrigation engineering, anything you can do, as long as you can relate it to your job. You can't take Greek literature totally or something totally unrelated to your job.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So my question is for Jawahar sir and Sanjay sir. So one of my family members actually has been preparing for UPSC, and in the meanwhile they have been giving other state level PSC exams as well. And they are in a good, they got a good rank, and I must specify it's a woman, and they want to, they are in the decision making process as to apply for a DSP position, and they're not sure how the environment is in the police as a woman, and being a little she's a little soft spoken, I must say. So do you think they'll be able to adapt to the environment in the police, and how difficult would it be to actually adapt if she goes ahead and applies for it?
See, this is a good question because as a DGP, I've been promoting women, and women in uniform is extremely important. They send a very strong message of empowerment. And I've seen that greater number of women are entering IPS also, and as DYSP also, and as constables also. You have to realize that more than 50% of the crime is crime against women and children. Largely till now it was being handled by men. But there are limits to what men can do, and women are extremely required. Now, if you're a polite, that is an asset. That's not a liability. If you're a polite, if you're a mild-mannered woman officer, it's an asset. And I've seen a lot of them, they've actually done well. Earlier, say 50 years back, women were in the margins of policing. So chief ministers or DGPs thought that they could not be given district because they will not be available 24/7, and how will MLAs speak to them in the middle of the night. But women have debunked that, and today I think they are performing as well or better than men. you should go ahead and encourage your relative to join.
Yes, as sir said, actually in Tamil Nadu DSP, women DSP are more recently recruited DSPs. Women are more, and even my subordinates, women DSPs have got more marks, actually full marks in assessment as SPI given. So they performed really well. So officers' gender does not matter here. It's about the skill, management, sincerity, dedication, everything matters. Thank you.
When I said I didn't fill in IPS, so don't take me wrong.
See, there are two things which I have always promoted. One is diversity. Diversity is basically opinion, your race, everything, diversity. And second is gender. So these things you should keep in mind if you are going to be future administrators or civil servants of India.
Hello sir, my question is to Ravi Teja sir. Sir, actually I am preparing for civil service 2 years. My mains preparation was somewhat good. This is my first attempt. In my prelims, my mock test score was comparatively between 50 to 60. I cannot able to improve it back. I can able to eliminate the wrong two options. Between the two options, my accuracy was somewhat low. How to improve that?
If I may know, how many questions are you attempting?
I am attempting 75 to 80.
So I think that's a problem, because I can tell you a generic strategy, and I followed the generic strategy, is that you increase your probability of getting more marks by attempting more questions. So there's an optimum number, and at least at my time it was around, let's say, 90 to 95 questions out of 100. Okay, so the logic is, out of the 100 questions, there will be 25 to 30 which are very basic, like all of them would have cleared it. There will be 10 questions which UPSC examiner would have put so that no one would answer it. So those are the questions where you have to massage his ego and said, yes, I'm not attempting these questions. You are the greater boss. Now your window is in from those 60 questions where you get that lead from others. So my strategy has been, as you said, most of the questions you can eliminate. So one good way is to eliminate the wrong options as soon as. So I always, in the 2 hours time, I used to complete the paper in 1 hour. That is, first go through the entire paper, have an idea. Whatever these easy questions are there, first mark them off in your paper. Wherever you can eliminate the options, eliminate. So this is one round of paper. Again, you come back, just go, because what happens is, in this 2 hours journey itself, your brain will start getting involved in the process. It will be very sleepy in these initial one, two questions when you start. So some things might not strike you, but something in the 97th question might strike the answer for the 3rd question. So it's always good to have one entire round, get your brain ruminated over all those questions, and then you come back again and then see those. Even when you were able to eliminate 2 in the beginning, now within the leftover 2, you will be able to actually see the difference between both the options. Though they were sounding equally correct, once you get back, you might see the difference among them also. So that is one way. And again, 20 questions, you have to have guessing. Okay, you can't be perfect about all those 75 questions. I'm sure there'll be few people who will be like getting only 75 questions they'll attempt, still they'll get 130, 140 marks. There are people like that. So I am not like that. So I am like any random average aspirant who would try out his luck even in prelims also. So have those 20 questions guess. So the logic, again I'll tell you, it's very mathematic probability. 20 questions, you do random guessing. You have 2 options, you have 50% probability. 10 questions will be right, 10 questions will be wrong. The positive you get 2 marks, the negative you get minus 0.6. So net you will get, for the 20, here you will get minus 6. 14 marks you will get. So just by going randomly attempting 20 questions with 50% probability, will end up in a probable marks of additional 14 marks, which you will be losing in a fear that all might be wrong, which can never be possible. Even if you close your eyes and mark 20 also, you will get positive. So that is just a mathematical probability. You will get additional 14 marks, and each mark is important in prelims. So that's how I went about. So practice that 90-95 turnout in all the prelims, then you will get this decent score of clearing the prelims cutoff.
Thank you, sir. Sir, one more question. Sir, how you shade in OMR? After you read one question, you will shade or else?
No. So that I used to do only at the last 10-15 minutes. I used to do, because again, as I said, my answers might change till the last moment. So I mean, it's a personal thing. Some people mark it simultaneously. I always used to do it in the last half an hour, and complete all, and then still there will be some 10 questions which are left, and only deliberate on them and then mark it. So I would put it that way.
Thank you.
So mathematics, so this is very specific to those who take mathematics optional. So mathematics are paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 1 is relatively easier, which is mostly numeric and quanting, which is somewhat similar to your JEE advanced. So there you can clear as many, it's just about your accuracy. Answer 100 आना है तो 100 आया नहीं आया बस यही देखना है. It is 99, 101, then it is your mistake, but answer is 100, that everyone knows. But in paper 2, it is mostly abstract. This is where your BSc mathematics and MSc mathematics topics come in. So modern algebra is one thing which you are not at all aware. It's very abstract. So, and I have learned it the harder way, because my first attempt, like the first mains I wrote, I have got very less marks in modern algebra. So next attempt, I only focused on modern algebra. One good way is, since you're in the college already, you please take a course on modern algebra. That is one that will definitely help you out. I couldn't plan modern algebra specifically, so that one topic I could lose. Others, operational research, this linear programming and all you have in as electives you can take. But modern algebra, please take it now, or you have some books. But again, with any other topic, you do it thrice, you will get the answer. One clarity about mathematics optional in civil services exam is it is nothing like your JEE advanced, where you go and you put your brain on the paper and then you get the answer. No, civil services maths optional is very by-hearting sort of a thing. You have to just go and dump your answers within the time and come, because most of it are proof based or regular procedure based. So there is one strategy where people, so out of all the 100% questions you get, 20% questions are very hi-fi questions. And throughout civil services, you will find this pattern where those 20% questions are very hi-fi, very brain stimulating, and people start preparing only those 20 questions because they think, okay, rest 80 we can manage. But my strategy was completely conservative. I'll only prepare those 80 questions. I'm happy writing those 80 questions correctly and coming back. And I have got top 5 mark in the optional exam. Also, in that year, top 5 maths optionals, top 5 people in the maths optional were actually the top 5 optionalists of all the papers together. So that means if you take all optional marks together and rank top 5, all the 5 people were mathematics people. And I was the 5th among them. So maths will give you that confidence. You have to just practice, keep practicing, and you have to be able to write those answers even in your sleep. You have to get to that position. So modern algebra, repeated practice you do. I know more abstract, you have to spend more time, but nothing impossible. Take the past year questions, repeatedly do them, and you will get it.
Good evening all. What are the subjects, what are the strategy of current affair revising, sir? And which subject is good to start with? Parallel 1 or 2 subjects together, or history, polity and geography together?
So, since it's a preparation question, current affairs, as far as current affairs is concerned, it is very dynamic. And I've seen by the time I left itself, so I wrote it in 2019, but the trend still continues that UPSC is going berserk on prelims exam. It is giving you all random questions, nothing you would have seen in any of the standard textbooks or NCERTs or even newspapers. So what is happening over the time with respect to prelims is your knowledge is not tested, your awareness is tested. So what does that mean is, everyone knows the articles in Lakshmikant, but it is no more asking you the articles. It is asking the application of it, or some recent current affair which has involved this article in that particular current affair. So that is what's application based. It is going on application based. So once you're, so to start off, if you're in still your initial stages and you're starting off, then I wouldn't recommend any particular timeline. But you can always go as per your paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, paper 4 strategy for prelims as well. Geography, history, you start off. But more importantly, you start off with those subjects which are interesting to you, because that is how you will be invested in the process. If you take some very dry subject and then you curse yourself, it is of no use. Anyways, you have to read everything. So start off with those which interest you more. You will get into the process and then you can finish off that. And that is with respect to the subject order. current affairs, please read the newspaper and do maximum practice in terms, you can have Vision IAS, you can have IAS Baba, Forum IAS, then you have Vajiram and Ravi. So some popular institutes, they prepare their own PYQs, past year questions as well as your MCQs. Prepare them as much as possible. And don't think that current affairs इतना पढ़ लिया तो उसमें से आ जाएगा टाइप नहीं है. वो एग्जाम में जाके फिर से वहाँ पे भी you have to do hard work to get the answers. But what I suggest is you should have a strategy, go by this order of subjects and do as many MCQs as possible. That will be a better strategy.
See, in Shimla we had probably a couple of conferences where UPSC chairman, members and chairmen of all public service commissions had come. So they are also looking for intellectual depth, but they are also looking for contextual awareness. So if you are not contextually aware what is happening, then it's very difficult. So all these GS papers and all are because of that also.
Good evening all. So if you have to summarize, my questions are, what qualities do the government or commission expect from the candidates? Second thing, what kind of daily or regular activities should we do to align the interest or the attitude what they want? Third is how to learn and correct upon the ethics.
I'll start. See, what they are looking for is people with good intellect, character, who can lead the country for next 50 years. So leadership is much beyond academics, intellect. It is many things, plus. But I think my colleagues can add.
What are they looking for?
So, you know, when we got selected, so we had this meeting with the President of India, and our batch, we were like 18 people from IIT in a batch of 52 at that time. So 7 generations, in the sense I was the youngest generation, and there were like 92 to 98 pass out students from IIT. So 3 or 4 of us, you know, we raised this question that civil service exam is not testing, you know, ethics, honesty, leadership, because the interview weightage was very small. So that kind of a thing. So I think that is how they introduced the ethics paper in the exam. I don't know about this new format because I'm an old timer. So
that was because a lot of civil servants were getting involved in corruption cases. So a lot of civil servants were getting involved in corruption cases. So at entry level, they wanted people of good character to enter. So ethics is a good way of testing. But Ravi Teja can add more.
So as ma'am said, there was so earlier the pattern was different with only 2 GS papers. Now it has become 4th, with the 4th paper as GS, only for ethics and aptitude. So asking your 3 questions, I think they have answered the first one. The second one of what daily routine is basically read a newspaper and have a good awareness. In general, take interest in the current affairs, not the political affairs, but the current affairs, like, you know, which party is aligning with party and all is not our scope in the civil services. But you can always know what is delimitation process, why are southern states asking for a fair delimitation, why there is a river dispute between the 2 states. All these are matters which concern administration. So that is one basic clarity you should have in preparation. So what I suggest to the aspirants also is, when you must be having some setup for preparation. So just in front of you, stick the UPSC syllabus so that you will have an idea. Any current affair you read, you can always track it back to one point in the syllabus. You have general studies, you have paper 1 geography, history, then sociology, then you have political science, international affairs, economy, then you have science and technology, agriculture, then 4th paper is your ethics and aptitude. So any newspaper current affair you read, you track it back to which part of the syllabus they are asking. That way you can always correlate. So if you ask me, I give you 3 topics, then just go and see back where in the syllabus it is mentioned. Does it come under geography? Does it come under international affairs? So you'll find that this alliance of political parties comes nowhere. So that's one elimination, that okay, this is not. So you read, you be very mechanical. As I said, UPSC asks you only through its speaks to you only through its syllabus and question papers. So stick in front of it. And as Bhavna ma'am said, prepare a schedule and put it on your table. 7 AM को क्या करना है, 7 PM को क्या करना है, वो उसमें देख. अगर मेरे शेड्यूल में ये है कि मेरे को अभी रेस्ट लेना है तो रेस्ट लेना है, भले ही मेरा मूड पढ़ने का है. अगर मेरे को मुझे पढ़ना है तो मुझे पढ़ना है, भले ही मेरा टाइम अगर अगर मन नहीं है तो बी एज मैकेनिकल एज पॉसिबल. दैट शुड बी योर डेली रूटीन. एंड थर्ड, विथ रेस्पेक्ट टू एथिक्स, I am seriously not qualified to speak about it because I got the lowest marks in ethics in my batch, and only my maths optional saved me. But I would like to make a submission that your marks in ethics is not testament to your character otherwise. So that itself shows you, the paper. My entire philosophy of UPSC is do it as a very mechanical process. Don't overhype it. You have formulas, you have this thing, please do it and you will get good marks. Because I thought ethics का मेरा पेपर ऐसा, मुझे लगा जब मैं लिख कर आ रहा हूँ, मुझे लगा best exam है, that this is the best ethics. I think ethics will get me IAS this time. That is what I felt. And once the marks came, I was devastated. Because what I got so average से मेरा mark 30 mark कम है. All my batchmates were somewhere in 130, 120 and I was in 90s. ठीक है, तो my ethics is not that good, especially as per UPSC. But what I suggest is ethics is one good way of learning lot of philosophies, lot of good thinkers you can learn, and lot of case studies they give. As of now, the question paper is you have 2 papers where they have the part A where you are supposed to speak about the thinkers, their thoughts, their philosophies, how it will help the government. Part B is case study where they'll tell you are the district collector of a certain district and what will you do in such a situation. So it will give you a good aptitude of preparing for such situations. Okay, but again, that is for someone who is a newbie. For someone who has given an exam 2-3 times, it is again a mechanical process. You know what to write exactly. You just have to write it and come back. So it's as simple as that.
We are going to take the last 2 questions.
So, good evening to all. So, my question is, getting into any Indian services itself is very tough, but once after getting into that service, is there any work-life balance? Because we are supposed to serve the nation, right? So, we have to be available most of our time. So, how much time can we give to our family once after joining?
So as I said, there's a lot of kinds of leaves available. One, but yes, you see in this job, sometimes you get a posting like you're working from 6 a.m. till 9 or 10 p.m. And at the same time, you also get postings where you just have, 4 to 5 hours of job. Sometimes it's also your prerogative. Once you rise a bit in your career, then it becomes also your prerogative that you want to choose some bit sideline post. You don't want to be in the mainstream, or you don't want to take up a, direct important role, so-called important role. So maybe I say that lots of leaves are available when the woman is going through a child raising times, or when you are my daughter was in class 12th, so I took child care leave. So that was one prerogative as an officer which I can use. But it has happened in my career when I'm working from 6 to 9 p.m. and doing nothing else. But then it's very satisfying also. So you have, that flexibility, which is very nice. Like I said, for mountaineering, you get a 1 month leave. Sir said 2 years of study leave you get. You can get an extraordinary leave for 5 years to work without salary. People go to an NGO, people go to UN, people go to many other organizations. And there are lots of opportunities and you can do a good work-life balance.
See, in our job, there are field postings and then there are staff postings, so headquarters. Field posting, you are supposed to be busy. You are supposed to take care of the things there. You are the visible face of the government, say collector or SP. But then there is a caveat there. As the chief of the district, you should do the job of the chief. As SP, you should do the job of the SP. But if you start doing the job of a constable, then you will have no work-life balance. Okay. Secondly, when you are DGP or Chief Secretary, you need to do the administrative work. If you start doing the job of a SP or collector, then obviously your work-life balance goes for a 6. There is enough work to keep you busy and you have enough leisure to keep yourself free. It is up to you how you live your life.
I'd like to add, this UPSC one examination you pass, your career is made for 35 years. Okay, no problem at all. Whereas we talk a private job, the target, layoff, So many issues are there. I can give an analogy. In IIT, you are taking an optional. The optional, you can choose an optional which is very easy and get an S grade or A grade. You don't necessarily choose the optional which is going to be giving you C grade. Same way, once you get into IAS or IPS, you have the choice to take up a field posting or a tough posting. If for certain personal reasons for 3 years I can't do, you can take a soft posting. And where you'll have good work-life balance. But field posting, very tough posting, there's no question of fixed hours or duty. You could be disturbed 24 hours of the day.
Okay, one more question I have.
Yeah, other person.
Last question, sir. Just.
You can take it during the tea time.
Good evening, sirs and madam. I am Balaji. In recent years, many edtech platforms are. Hello. Yeah, in recent years, many edtech platforms are providing quality education and learning experience. So, how should a student choose between online and offline modes of education, and what factors are most important to consider?
Please come again.
Yeah, in recent years, many edtech platforms are providing quality education. So, how should a student choose between online and offline modes of education, and what factors are most important to consider?
During my time, what I did was, there was good online materials, there were very good websites, but ultimately, basics, they don't change. Whatever basics like Lakshmikant for polity, Spectrum for history. So that basics, and you have to be very strong. Beyond that, this online platform, they play a supplementary role. Mainly your knowledge, whatever you accrue, comes from reading of newspaper. So whatever you read, like Teja said, you have to know what to take and what to leave. So you connect. So whatever topic, some topic the newspaper discusses, there is a backstory for that. So that is the that will be concise, and it will be given in the online platforms. It's up to you. I mean, it is like sometimes these fodder materials is too huge, and if so many important topics are condensed and given to you, you won't assimilate it very well. But if you read through newspaper, it will be organic, and you can assimilate, you can understand the background, and while presenting on the paper, it will be easier for you. That's how I prepared. Okay, thank you.
Hello, thank you for giving opportunity to ask this question. Actually, this is not related to like preparing for UPSC, but this question will give me like a direction whether I go something or not. The question is, as a civil servant working as various politicians and ministries, so for like shaping various sectors for shaping the India. So what message you wanted to give for upcoming tech politicians as you part of like tech engineers for shaping the global India, and where he can start and how he can start as he can start to land in a politician, because our like universities are like a JNU and Delhi University, they are having very opportunities to go politics and all those things, and what way these tech engineers they can choose as a politician path.
You're talking about, I'll just say a little bit. See, my minister, Mr. Ashwini Vaishnav, is a IIT graduate, right? So how should a technology people become a politician?
Study well first. Huh?
See, the thing is, I'll add to one, what Madam Bhavna said is, as you need smart civil servants in India, you need extremely smart politicians. So the time has gone where you had inept kind of politicians who don't know technology. Today, technology challenged politicians cannot achieve much. Okay, that is there. And I think it is time for students from IITs to go into serious politics also. And you have a very heavy CV. And those of you who have some political inkling or interest in politics, I think it's time you should enter. It's the right time because India is growing and so will you.
A lot of scope. You see, like, our Gymkhana president, Neelkant Mishra, so chalo, he's not directly into politics, but he's the chairman of the UIDI. So it's nice, he's just one batch senior to me. So, but then he's my super boss. Because, in some ways, he's like politically involved. So it's like, you do your own things and then you can also enter into politics. So these days, I think as tech engineers, there's a lot of scope in politics.
So thank you for such an insightful question and answer session. If you have any more question, you can ask in the T section. And okay, one last question.
Actually, I wanted to ask Sanjay Kundu sir about your role in the UN in Bosnia and Herzegovina.
See, I was there and then Kandaswamy was also there. United Nations is meant for peace and security. And whenever there is crisis, the UN Security Council sits and they send the peacekeeping force. Earlier, what used to happen, largely armies used to go, but they realized that peace is just not about armies, it is about building peace. It's not about just war, stopping war, it is building peace. That is where police officers have great role, basically starting from bottom up. And we had a very successful tenure in Bosnia. It's a successful country today. Then I was commissioner in South Sudan, where we were not very lucky. In the sense, our job there was, South Sudan at that time was the newest country in the world. It had got its independence after long fighting with Sudan. So everyone was in that fighting mode. So the UN had gone there for writing their constitution, setting up democratic institution, setting up rule of law institutions like police, courts, prosecution, jails. We were doing very well. And a lot of support was also pouring in because they wanted to make it as a success story. But in Africa, what happens is the tribal instincts are very, very high. So two tribes, they fought with each other. And the war is still going on. So the mission has not been much of a success. Though I can say that I did best what I could do. I tried my best, but this is larger global peace and security in politics. It was not so much of a success there. But many missions have been successful. New countries have been established, like East Timor, Cambodia, then Bosnia, then many countries have actually gained their independence like this. And initially, UN was there, and then they handed over the baton to the local governments. And it's a good experience. One more thing is, in India, we think we are very smart. But when you work with police of 100 countries, an army of 50 countries, you will realize that there are some similarities all over the world, and people from other countries are also very, very smart. They're very professional. A lot of them have old histories also. So it's a mutual learning process also, and it is also an experience in diversity and gender.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Professor V. Kamakoti to give memento to the dignitaries.
डायरेक्टर साहब एक शॉल पहन के फोटो लेते हैं
Where is the memento? No, this. Sarthi, please come. Yeah, no, Sarthi. Yeah, I'm coming.
Sir, it's okay, sir. It's okay.
Say anything?
Yeah.
Okay. Word of thanks.
I now invite Student General Secretary Mr. Atul Kumar Pandey to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you. Good evening to all of you. As the Student General Secretary of the Institute, and on a personal note, as an aspirant, this is an honor and a pleasure for me to stand in front of you and speak and deliver the vote of thanks for you all. First and foremost, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guests, the distinguished civil servants, for gracing this occasion with their presence. Your journey, your experience, and the words have not only enlightened us, I'm sure also ignited a sense of purpose and clarity in the minds of aspiring leaders present here. A special, sincere thanks to our director, Professor Kamakoti, sir, for his unwavering support and the guidance. Sir, your vision for empowering young minds, sir, your vision for empowering the young minds continues to inspire and shape the future of this institute. I also express our deep appreciation to the Professor Sarathi, sir, our Dean of Planning, and Professor Kandaswamy, sir, whose mentorship and efforts have been invaluable in bringing this event to life. To our organizing team, the UPSC Club, the team Pragati of the Institute, of the student body, and to every individual who contributed their time and energy, thank you for making this event seamless and successful. Lastly, to all the participants and students, thank you for your enthusiasm, We hope today's session has brought you one step closer to understanding what it truly means to lead and serve the nation. Looking forward, I hope to see more of you joining the DICE and inspiring the upcoming generations of IIT Madras. Let us carry the inspiration forward and continue to strive towards a brighter India. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
So in IITM, we never say goodbye, see you soon.
See you soon, sir.
Thank you so much, Atul. I now request all the delegates to please come forward to have a group photo with all the aspirants.
First with the team, please. First with the student team.
So we will have a photograph with the student team first and then with the aspirants.
Just right in the front of it.